Hey, how's it going? I couldn't resist making a video about this because it's important to show the current state of education, indoctrination, um, and stigmas that are being pushed onto the younger generation. And for the purposes of this video, we're going to go on basic social terms like black, white, and Asian, and whatever. And we're going to break down this video together. I'm going to leave a link to the original video in the description box below, and we're going to break this down. And this should really be an eye-opener as to what's happening in schools and what's going on in the school. So this should be a pretty fun video, all right? And I couldn't help resist because it's pretty epic now. Now let's check it out together, all right?
Did you spell?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
What did I do wrong?
You have a better.
You're offensive.
So right off the bat, we have, which you see later, there's a black girl behind the camera, and she's with a friend who looks like she's probably Indian, even though they're all Americans, but I'm just talking about genetically. And they approach this white kid, and they say he's offensive, and he's obviously confused. He doesn't know what's happening. I don't know what they said right before this, but they obviously approached him, and so he's confused. He's looking around like, what's going on? Because he has a Police Lives Matter sticker on his laptop.
Police lives matter?
You have the same sticker.
We're just trying to do school.
What?
You guys have the same sticker of the other.
But this is our space.
We've got a.
But this is our space. You're going to see what she means by that. Basically, our space means anyone but white people. Which, if we're going by terms of racism, that's straight up racist.
Police Lives Matter sticker, and we're getting kicked out. Can't do school. Yeah, you just said we have to leave.
No, I said.
You're making the space
You said it makes me feel
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable.
But you're white. Do you understand what a multicultural space? It means you're not being centered.
White's not a culture?
No.
No, it's not a culture. It's white is not a culture. Say it again to the camera.
Black's not a culture either. To be specific, you know, African is a culture. Jamaican is a culture. He looks like he's probably Italian, probably half Italian. I don't know what else. Maybe like a Italian something else. So he could have just said, well, I'm Italian, and she wouldn't have had anything to say. Because just saying, oh, white, even though you can see what's happening here, she's trying to say that anyone of different colors is a culture, first of all, and is multicultural of anyone that's not white, which is extremely racist if we're going by those terms. And he's calling her out on it.
You think whiteness is a culture?
And then she proceeds to say this racist stuff and go and mock these white kids just because they're sitting here doing schoolwork.
This is insane.
So anyways, this is the violence that ASU does, and this is the type of people that they
Looks like his shirt says, I did not vote for Biden.
protect. Okay, this white man thinks he can take up our space, and this is why we need a multicultural space, because they think they can get away with this shit.
This white man is in our space? Like, what is that even supposed to mean? Imagine it was reversed around. Imagine one of these white kids got up and said, we have these black kids in our space. Like, what space? Multicultural space? Are they being taught that multicultural is anything except for white?
I'm gonna sit here the whole time, and you can find somebody to kick me out.
That's cool. We
We're
will.
not kicking you out. We're asking you to.
And then he says, I'll sit here until you guys can find someone to kick me out. And then one says, that's fine, okay. And the other one says, we're not kicking you out, even though they're telling them that they're offensive.
Leave if you have any consideration for people of color and are marginalized.
So clearly don't.
That I can go?
Yeah, the whole rest of the campus, the second floor, the first floor, the whole MU, every single part of the campus centers you. This is the only space that you're not centered, and you're still trying to center yourself, which is peak white cis male bullshit.
You know, I'm not racist. I'm just studying.
Oh, you're not.
You are racist. Your sticker is racist because police, that's a job. You can choose to be a police. I don't.
This is crazy. This is normal in her head. All this stuff she's saying, she believes this. This is normal, and she thinks she's doing a good thing right now, because the way the schools brainwash these kids into thinking this, and not even just the schools, but a lot of the media tries to instill this kind of thing because they want this divide to be there, to where you can attack other people and still think that you're justified or you're doing something good.
Choose to be black. Okay? No, you can choose.
And one of the things I want to point here too is she's saying what, that police are racist, that police lives don't matter? Is that what she's trying to say? She didn't choose to be black, but you can choose to be a policeman? Yeah, you can be a policeman and protect the community. One of the most dependent communities on the police are poor black neighborhoods. They need the police to come because there's always crime happening. There's always rapes and murder, statistically, more than any other places, because a lot of these towns are neglected by a lot of these Democrat and liberal ideologies and laws. You know, you have a place that's so infested with criminality, and then you try to say that it's the police are wrong. What happens to these people once the police are out of those communities? They get killed and murdered and raped and robbed.
Choose to be a cop. You can choose to kill people with a badge, and you're protecting that shit, which means that you're racist.
So she's shouting and yelling at these kids. And then you see this other kid in the background right here. And he's an Asian. So he's coming up and he's recording this and he's seeing this. And he steps up and says something because he knows right from wrong. And you saw the other people on the left side, our screen, the left side, his right side, behind him, the black people, they were kind of confused and taken on guard. Like, why is she yelling at this kid? You know?
I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to defend you guys.
I know, but this offends us automatically because these people kill people like me. And
So he goes, I'm not trying to offend anybody. And she goes, oh, I know, but it's these people who offend. Like, think about what's going on in the mind of these two girls right now. They're going up to these white kids and just starting trouble with them for the sake of starting trouble because she thinks she's doing something good. She thinks this is part of social justice. You attack white people or anyone who's different from you.
like us, right? So you're promoting our murderers. So please just don't do that.
Sticker affecting you negatively. They're just trying to do your work.
Thank you. Thank you.
So why should that bother you?
Because, do you understand that Police Lives Matter was in response to Black Lives Matter?
I pay the same fucking tuition as you.
Yep.
Hold on, but
Yeah, that's fine,
you
and you have everywhere.
I
You
don't.
have.
I'm working 60 hours a week while going to school because my parents don't just give me money.
It doesn't
Okay, it doesn't matter. You have the second floor.
My
skin
skin
doesn't
bullshit.
matter.
Fuck me. Or you. I don't care about what color your skin is.
You can get out of here if you're going to be yelling at people because they're
She
trying.
was yelling
This
at
is our space.
This
We
is
make
our
this-
space.
here. I don't
We
care.
make this fucking space. We have to work for 5 years
Yes,
to
we
make this
did.
space.
We worked for 5 years for ASU to build a multicultural
Yeah,
space.
this.
They worked for 5 years for ASU to build them this space. What space? What kind of space is this? Is this supposed to be? They just said it was a multicultural space, and now they're saying it's an anti-white space, a safe space. Like, this is insanity. This is what's happening in the schools. If you have kids that are going to school, if you are a young person like this going to these schools, like, this is what you're exposed to. This is what your kids are exposed to. Your grandchildren are exposed to. This is the kind of inflammatory environments that's happening and being normalized. I mean, you see it on like television and on the radio and commercials and advertisements on ads. Like, it's all crazy stuff. It's really insane. And these are all passed by, like, this is all pushed on by liberal and Democrat ideology in order to make sure there's rifts between everyone. They don't want people sticking together because they know if they stick together, then they're going to be targeted as the enemy. People are going to see the crazy stuff they're putting in their heads, and they're going to say, wait a second. It's these Democrats and these liberals that are pushing this ideology. You know?
This was
It's
the
like white supremacist, like
where's
narratives.
White
We're
supremacists.
like
They call them white
police
supremacists.
lives matter is saying police
yeah,
lives
it is.
matter
Yes,
saying
it
anything
is. Yeah, it's affiliated with white nationalists.
It is.
They're just
It is
sitting here
affiliated
to
to a lot
study,
of-
and
it
you
is.
guys went out of your way to inconvenience.
Yes.
Because this
No.
is
Yeah, because this is our space. We fought for this shit
Our
for
space?
5 years, since 2016. You have no idea about the labor that was created to create this space, and his.
They're not here to cause
So we're
problems.
saying you're
No, we can't. You're violent, dude.
You don't have
Violent. They're calling them violent. They're calling them white supremacists. They're calling them problem makers and troublemakers when they're just sitting there quietly with earphones in, just studying. And these girls think that this is the right thing to do. This is what you're supposed to do. Wait till you see what they say in just a few minutes. It's psychotic.
What America's about, it's
We're
supposed to
saying
be
you're
about-
Yeah, fuck America, bro. America was created on genocide and slavery. Look at his face.
So they're saying, fuck America. They're calling them white supremacists. They're saying that it's white nationalism. That police are not white nationalists. This is the brainwashing that's going on.
Obviously, never.
That is the
They're here to
point.
study.
That is always
Yeah, and the point is that studying. This is not a space just for studying. This is a space for multiculturalism.
What? This is not a space for studying. This is a space for multiculturalism? Like, what does that even mean? So you're not supposed to study there? Is that what they're saying? You can't be there if you're white. You have to do something that incorporates multiculturalism? America is multicultural. That's entirely what America was based on, was multiculturalism.
So no, now we're saying.
Shut the fuck up.
So you're not getting homework done. You're not getting homework done.
You guys are gonna be
We're not getting homework done. You're making people feel uncomfortable. So can you go? It's just
This is assault, what they're doing right now.
that
is
simple.
crazy to me.
People are feeling
DC's
uncomfortable
racist.
by your
You
guys
sticker.
are racist.
Just like if I had a
You guys are racist.
this
So they're yelling at two white kids, an Asian kid, and a clearly handicapped kid in a wheelchair. And they think they're fighting for social justice.
Okay, we're
I
racist.
hate white people thing on. That's the
Hey,
same thing as
point the
this
camera over
police
here.
lives matter. So you're
the camera
making
over
people
here.
uncomfortable. You can go.
Seriously,
I was just studying. I pay the same fucking tuition as you.
And
This
I
is
asked
this
you
white
for
man
white
telling
women.
black people fuck you, saying
Shut the fuck up.
so you
Buy this building?
cussing out black
I
people.
work.
You just proved
I'm
yourself.
an official employee.
I don't care where you work for. You can't kick us out of here.
I just told
Asian
you
kids
shut the fuck
laughing.
up because
He
you're
knows it's
making me feel
ridiculous.
unsafe in this space.
There's no such white
just have
people.
to
There's no
sticker.
such thing as reverse racism. So have fun thinking that we are the racist.
That's the only thing that made sense. There is no such thing as reverse racism. It's racism. Anyone could be racist toward anybody else.
There's no such thing.
He proves that he's not white. He doesn't have to. Just the white.
That's
people.
David.
No, we're not saying white people have to leave.
We never said white people need to
No,
go
we said-
anywhere.
hey,
We said
Let's go to the dean's office.
Yeah, this is.
Go to
Go ahead, go to the dean's office.
Go to the
Go
dean's
ahead.
office
You
right
can
now.
learn about this shit.
go Karen.
You can learn about the history. Go ahead, Karen. Go to the dean.
The big black people scared me out. No, we didn't.
You bullied us out, but
No, we said
No,
you feel
you
uncomfortable and you
bullied
caused the scene. You caused the scene.
You are unaware of history,
You
and
are-
it's ridiculous.
okay. I'm unaware of history. I probably have a further degree than any of you in here.
Try PhD. Bro. So, anyways, we're here. We had to.
And listen to what she says. Like, she thinks she just did something good. She thinks that this video is going to make her look good. This is what they're trained to do. These kids are trained to act like this to other people. Because they're spoiled, entitled, and only want their way. And if they don't get their way, they attack other people. Talk about privilege.
We had to protect the space because ASU wasn't. And you know, like we fought for this space. It was years of organizing, and we're not gonna just let some white supremacists change that. So, anyways, that's why we're here. Yeah, they're gonna make a scene and go talk to their Karens and all of that. But
So has no respect for anybody. She says we fought for this. I doubt she has been there for 5 years. Who goes to ASU for 5 years? Right? Don't you usually get your degree under that, depending on what you're going for? You know, I mean, she looks young right there. She sounds incredibly young. She sounds incredibly inexperienced with what's going on. She called them white supremacists, and then she called the deans of the school Karens just now.
You know, it's important to recognize why we have to do that and what a multicultural space means. Because multiculturalism doesn't mean that, oh, we all come together and hold hands. It means that you provide space and you protect the most marginalized.
That's what multicultural means. That's what multiculture means. Multiculture doesn't mean everyone getting together from different races and getting together. It means that you have to be a social justice warrior and put yourself in a marginalized spot and then say you're defending it.
And shit like that makes this space uncomfortable.
He's threatened us that he will go to the dean. We'll see what he'll say to the dean, and we'll see how the dean reacts to this. And now,
Yeah, this is probably not going to turn out good for them at all.
now we'll see who ASU prioritizes. Students of color in our only fucking room in this campus are white cis men who are threatening black students by saying police lives matter.
Well, first of all, she looks like she's Indian. And they're saying that what white people aren't allowed in that room. There's a special room where white people are not allowed. Imagine this campus had a room where black people or Indians were not allowed in. How would that go over? Would that fly? I don't think so. They think that they're entitled to special treatment just because they look different than somebody. Isn't that what racism is?
That doesn't matter. Can you leave?
No.
Okay, you don't want to leave? That's fine.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Cool, stay there then. And we're saying this is a multicultural space. You're making us uncomfortable, and you're saying you don't want to go.
What?
You're saying you don't want to go.
But
you're just saying
you're not a minority culture.
We're saying like as
What's your culture, bro?
Yeah, tell us about your culture. What's white culture?
He should have said American, first of all. And then if that didn't work, the second best thing would have said whatever he is genetically. Like if he's Italian, he should have said Italian. And that would have shut them up immediately.
Stealing things from people, colonization, co-optation, theft, occupation.
It's like one of the most un-racist countries.
oh my
Whoa! He just said America's one of the most unracist countries, and this is what we mean about who are you centering.
Right. I'm going to drop some facts right now. And what he said was absolutely 100% true. America is probably the least racist country in the entire world. And that is absolutely true. And she thinks that white people steal. Well, white people were the first and still the only ones to end slavery. All other nations besides Western nations practice slavery on the regular. It's still not over. There's slavery in Africa, in Asia, in India, in pretty much anywhere that isn't white, there's slavery going on. And what did Americans do? They fought against it. They fought to give everyone equal opportunity, like they have. You know, was there a small, extremely small percentage of people who considered themselves, I guess you could say, white supremacists? Yeah, and that was like the KKK, and guess who voted for them? Democrats, because the KKK was created by Democrats. And Biden went to one of the eulogies for one of the highest ranking KKK members. So like, it's important to put things into context here. You know, everyone has the opportunity that white people have in this country. And people have fought for that in order to make that so. And it only would have happened because white people allowed it to, because they were the majority of people. You know, and America has always been multicultural because white isn't a culture, but Italian is a culture, Russian is a culture, Spanish is a culture, Irish is a culture, German is a culture. You know, you could be from Czechoslovakia, you can be from all these different cultures, and they all came to America and shared things. That's why we have American food. That's why we have American things, because it's the mix of all those cultures. That's why we have, you know, rock and roll and R&B, because it was the mix of black and white cultures creating music. So America is the least racist country there is. It gives everyone in the world the opportunity to come here and to make something of themselves.
Who are you centering?
Black people in the times of racism.
Don't speak my
Well,
name.
you don't even.
There's no difference in what you do bullying me and leaving this place than what happened in the times of racism.
We didn't bully you. We asked you to leave.
You guys can't. I can't even do my school. You came over here and said that I'm offending.
Bro, you can use your words anywhere in the building, just
Wait,
not
sure,
here.
do
That's
not
all.
vote for
Right,
Biden.
right.
I didn't notice. I just.
I know.
There's something we can agree on, though.
See, and you can tell by the way they're smug and laughing at it, they're just getting enjoyment out of doing this. They're getting enjoyment out of harassing white people. That is literally racist, wrong, and it's evil. They don't see what's wrong with this either. This is how they're trained to act. They think they're doing something good right now. This is what your kids are being taught. This is what your classmates are being taught. This is what your older brothers and sisters are being taught to do. This is dangerous ideology being pushed by the left side.
But yeah, something we can agree on, but probably for different reasons.
Anyways, another day of trying to defend this space.
Feel better by making your group less diverse. Doesn't make sense.
Oh wow. Okay, so diversity is about including more white people.
Oh yeah, diversity is now about including white men.
Okay, you have the whole campus, honey. You have the whole campus.
The whole campus? Don't they all share the campus? And that was the video. I'll put the link below so you can watch the whole thing uninterrupted. But I'm gonna give you some of my perspective here. I've made videos about this already. I've made videos and proved that they're pushing for segregation in schools again. You know, like and subscribe to this because if you want to know more anyway, I have a lot of videos that go in depth about this kind of stuff. And about a lot of other topics too, and what they're trying to do and push segregation in these schools. They want to separate people by culture and class and color and attitude and status. They're trying to put as much, and when I say they, I'm going to clarify too. A lot of this indoctrination is being pushed by Democrats because they're being swayed by outside ideology to push here, like from China, for instance. China knows that this stuff is devastating, and what they do is I've made videos about this too, and there's other videos online where they've caught a lot of university professors from China that are spies here, and they're also sent here in order to indoctrinate kids to think a certain way, so they fight against each other. It's all designed to break down the morality in America. And the Democrats let it go because a lot of them are getting paid by it. They're getting paid by these foreign entities. And so they push it. And they have their own agendas also. They benefit from all this fighting amongst the young people, the old people, the different parties. And it's all about gaining money and status and also power plays. And by using people's emotions against them. It's all psychological warfare. And we're seeing the result right here. It's hitting our schools on our homeland. And it's all done on purpose. There's nothing about this that is coincidental or accidental. What they do is they go for this young girl. You can tell by the way she acts and speaks and dresses and everything. She's extremely privileged. Extremely privileged, you know, obviously more so than these white kids because they're just confused and they get bullied out. We've come so far in America to weed out all the problems between races and different people, and we're coming right back to it. All this brainwashing social justice warrior attitude is destroying these kids' brains, and it's a real dangerous situation that's happening here. And we need to spread videos like this out so people see the hypocrisy, the craziness, the indoctrination that's going on here, the harassment, the attacking. You know? And it's unfortunate too because People have worked so hard and fought so hard for these things to be eradicated from society. I've went into depth in other videos about how, you know, it was less racism and angst and anger in these ways when I was going to school than it is now. How did it get worse? You know, it's like people like this are brainwashed by like Antifa and BLM. Both BLM and Antifa are paid by the Democrats. They're organizations created and paid for by Democrats to create problems. That's why Democrats never stop them. You notice that? They all rage in Democrat and blue cities. Why is that? How come they don't last when they come to red cities and counties? They literally fly from state to state in order to cause problems because they're paid by the Democrats. The Democrats bail them out. These are organizations that started when Obama came in because they wanted to, you know, he was like a race hustler, like Al Sharpton, you know. This is how they sow their power, by doing this kind of stuff. So I'll leave it at that. It's just important you guys see what's going on here. I'm going to leave it down below, so check it out. Check out the whole thing. And we need to start opening people's eyes to what's happening in this world and what's going on. This is really dangerous. You can only imagine what it's going to be like for these kids when they grow up, how angry and chaotic and problematic they're going to be in their lives and in other people's lives, especially when they think they're doing something good. We can't reward this behavior. So take care. Have a great night. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. If anything happens to this channel, if it gets knocked down, I'm also on BitChute, and I'm going to go on some other platforms too. So I'll see you there. Like and subscribe, and share this to people that you love and care about and want to see these videos too. So take care. Peace out, like I said, and have a great evening, day, night, morning, whatever it is. Take care. Bye.